Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for tonight's coverage of the Hoosier Open Wheel 410 Series. Tonight, these non-wings 410 sprint cars will be taking on Kokomo Speedway for 30 laps of racing action. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight. My name is Atlee Atman-Weiss, and I'm excited to call every second of tonight's dirt track racing coverage. Now we've got two races in the books for this series. Last week we were at last week we were at Lucas Oil Speedway, where we saw a 30 lap race, 2 cautions, and a lead change. But it was Noah Bowman who grabbed his second win of the season. He got it done, leading 28 of the 30 laps. Finishing second was Jay Schaff. Third, after starting on the pole and leading 2 laps, that was Vinny Sansone. Fourth was Cody Parmley, and rounding at your top 5, that was Bruce Klinging. So heading into this race, Noah Bowman is your points leader with his 2 wins. He won at Eldora to start the season. And then last week at Lucas Oil, second in points, 9 points back, is Vinny Sansone. Third is Jay Schaff, who was 19 points back. Fourth is Ryan Caldwell, 37 points back. And rounding at your top 5 in points, that's Cody Parmley. He is 38 points from the lead. Now, we currently have qualifying underway. Qualifying does award you some points, especially to whoever is the fastest qualifier. And after everything is said and done, looks like that's going to be Vinny Sansone with an 11.21. And that put him 700ths ahead of second place. So now we head into our heat races. That will determine the starting lineups. We do have a top 4 invert. So if you qualified, if you were the 4th fastest among the group, you will start on the pole. If you were the 1st fastest, you're going to be starting 4th. So let's take a look at the starting lineup. Starting on the pole with an 11.690. It's the 14 of Graham Huffman. On his outside is Indy Race Parts eSports driver Jay Schaff in the number 3. Third is the 90 of Trevor Royer. 4th, that's Vinny Sansone in the 80. And rounding at your top 5, that's Colton Snyder in the 024. 6th, it's the 24 Indy Race Parts eSports driver of Noah Bowman, your winner of the first 2 races. 7th, Tom Ostendorf. And rounding out the field in 8th, that's the 12 of Dano Lindsay, another driver for Indy Race Parts eSports. So we got a healthy field of 8 cars in this heat race. Vinny Sansone, your fastest qualifier, starting 4th, like I said. And actually, the entire podium from last week at Lucas Oil is in this race. Jay Schaff, your runner-up, he is starting in 2nd. And then Noah Bowman, he's starting in 6th. He was last week's and the week's, but he's won your first 2 races this season. So here we go, Kokomo, the smallest racetrack that we've raced at so far. Less than 3/10. Gonna be some hard, tight racing for sure. Pace truck is in. And green flag is in the air. Heat race number 1 is underway. We're almost 3 wide heading into turns 1 and 2. There's Trevor Royer on the outside. And we see Royer will slip up into the front on the bottom, but there goes Graham Huffman. He will take the lead back, running in that middle lane. There's Schaff all the way on the bottom, running right up against the tires. Oh, we got some cars in the outside wall. Spun out on the backstretch. And so that will bring us under our first yellow flag of the heat race. Let's see what happened here. Graham Huffman, your pole sitter, running kind of in that middle lane. Takes a shot for the lead. And that car just comes out. Oh, sorry, he's just keeping it there into the corner. Hits kind of a bump. Car gets squirrely, gets very sideways. Clocks that steering wheel hard to the left, as you can see. You get a nice... And he slides up right in front of Trevor Royer. putting the 2 right side tires of the 90 into the outside wall. Looks like Sansone made a little bit of contact. So tough one there. So Trevor Royer is your leader, despite hitting the outside wall there. Jay Schaff second. Third is Vinny Sansone. Graham Huffman, he's in the pits. He's out of this race. Green flag is back out. There's Trevor Royer leading this field of sprint cars into turns 1 and 2. We see Vinny Sansone trying to make a fight here for second. Noah Bowman there as well. Right now, Schaff has got the nose on the bottom there. But Sansone fighting back, and oh, Schaff is gaining some momentum to try to take that first place spot from Trevor Royer. Noah Bowman ripping the cushion. Fastest lap time of the race so far with an 11.60. And Sansone slips through it all. Slide jobs up to the lead. But there's Trevor Royer. He will pull a slider up in front of it. It's back and forth. Sansone takes advantage of that quick loss of momentum as Royer went up the racetrack, and he takes it. But now there's Royer. Back around on the outside. He will take the race lead. Once again, with 2 laps to go, time is running out for Vinny Sansone to try to get there. Royer, 11.52. Fastest lap time of the race, but he will have to decide things shortly. And actually, no, there's no... Looks like we're going to complete this race under yellow. But we had a caution, and that was Jay Schaff, who we saw competing for the lead there. Running very low on the bottom. Obviously pinching off that entry really hard. We see he slides up the racetrack a little bit. Right up in front of, I believe that's Colton Snyder. And that just puts Snyder into the wall. Schaff gets a little bit of airtime. And, oh, hard into the outside wall for Snyder. Ouch. So as we pace here on the final lap, looks like we will have a green-white checker to decide this. It's now Colton Snyder. He's out of this race down there on pit road. And green flag is back out. We're going to have a 1-lap shootout to decide this thing. Royer, he's got Vinny Sansone behind him. Noah Bowman not far behind in third. Noah Bowman heads down at the bottom. He tries to get in front of the 80 there. And he was able to beat him to the line in what was an insanely close finish. Came down to the thousandths of a second. Trevor Royer will get it done, and he will start on the pole for the feature. So now we will have our second heat race. Starting on the pole with an 11.697. That's the 19 of Glenn Reinhardt on his outside. It's Cody Parmley in the 5. Third is the 49 of Bo Brannon. Fourth, that's Black Diamond Motorsports' Mason Hannigan in the 22. And rounding out your top 5, that's the 71 Indy Race Parts eSports driver of Wade Fields. In 6th, it's Preston Cottrell in the 7. 7th is the 54 of Cody Terry. And rounding out the field in 8th, Indy Race Parts eSports driver Richie Gaines the 3rd in the 11. So here we go. Looks like Cody Parmley did not go to the grid, so he will start this race from down in pit road. And I will mention this, just like qualifying, these heat races are worth a couple points. So there is some, along with starting position, there are some points on the line. But again, Glenn Reinhardt on the bottom, Mason Hannigan on the top. We saw, again, Trevor Royer won the first heat race. Trevor Royer is a previous winner here at Kokomo. He's definitely done well at the small track in Indiana. And green flag is out. There's Glenn Reinhardt gassing up, bringing these gaggle of cars into 1 and 2. There's Brannon on the bottom. We're 3 wide for the lead heading into 3 and 4. Hannigan with a little bit of a nose on the outside. He will slip in front. Reinhardt. And we see Brandon slides up in front of the 19, now trying to track down Hannigan for this race lead. But the 22 doing well right up against the cushion, and so the battle is still on for second. Reinhardt on the bottom, Brandon on the top. We see Brandon has the nose as they head down the backstretch. But there's Reinhardt. Oh, he gets a little wheelie there. And Brandon will able to clear him. Fastest lap time of the race for Mason Hannigan, 11.56. Less than 5 laps to go. And, oh, we see Wade Fields gets passed there by Glenn Reinhardt. Reinhardt trying to hang on to third. 3 laps to go for Hannigan. Hannigan has started this race in 4th. He was the fastest qualifier among this group. He quickly made his way up to the field, sliced and diced, got to the lead, and now he leads with 2 to go. Wade Fields getting by Reinhardt on the outside. They continue to fight hard. There's Reinhardt on the bottom. And as they cross the checkered flag, Hannigan will finish first, Brandon second, and Wade Fields will grab third. Reinhardt fourth, Richie Gaines will grab fifth. So I will say everybody from those heat races is going to make the feature. But it's now time for a 10-minute warm-up just to give these drivers one last opportunity to get things dialed in before the feature. This is an open setup league, so setup building is a big aspect of this series. You not only have to worry about to see who's the best driver, but who is the best setup builder. I'm sure there's definitely some guys here in the series that have a knack for it a little bit more compared to others. Gotta have a big thank you to Indy Esports for being a proud partner of the Hoosier Open Wheel 410 series. Indy Esports is the official esports team of Indy Race Parts. It's a racing parts brand that provides anything you would need for your dirt racing team. If you race in real life, definitely go check them out, and definitely go check out their esports team. A lot of drivers in this series, including guy pictured there, Noah Bowman. They are a part of the Indy Race Parts esports family. Now let's talk a little bit about the track that we are racing at tonight. It's a tight dirt oval, but it's home to fantastic racing. Kokomo Speedway in Kokomo, Indiana. This quarter-mile dirt clay oval opened in 1947, and it thrills both the drivers and the fans. It's got 10 degrees of banking in the turns and 4 degrees on the straightaways. Kokomo Speedway definitely keeps drivers on their feet as they battle for the positions that lead to winning and losing. And like I mentioned earlier, this is the smallest racetrack we've been so far. We went to the half-mile Eldora, then we went to a little bit smaller, about a tenth smaller Lucas Oil, and now this track is less than 3/10 of a mile. And we're driving around it with these 410 non-wing sprint cars that have over 800 horsepower, more power, more speed. The USAC 410 is the ultimate non-wingless dirt car. Now, if you don't drive these cars right, it won't care how you drive it at all. So you got to drive the car like you stole it and make sure you wear a smile on your face. With a stock block push rod V8 engine, over 800 horsepower, these cars that weigh more than 1,500 pounds shoot off like a rocket thanks to its 0 to 60 miles per hour acceleration time of 2.2 seconds. Even though it has a big 30-gallon fuel tank for its fuel capacity, these 410 non-wing sprint cars can really put on a fantastic show for the drivers and fans that love to see the action at high-speed pace like never seen before. To many people that drive these monsters, they are hard to tame and is equally as hard to control. And at the beginning of the season, when I learned I was going to be doing this series, I talked to Wade Fields, owner of the Hoosier Open Wheel Series, and he said, not many drivers on this platform know how to drive these cars. That's just how challenging they are. So most of the drivers that know how to drive these things, they're in this series here tonight, duking it out. So that shows just how impressive this whole racing series and these drivers are running them. But they look like they're a blast to drive. I'm primarily an asphalt oval guy on iRacing, and I definitely do not think that if I hopped in one at like Eldora, I don't know if I would be able to handle it. They look like a lot to tame for sure. We do want to look at, we do have some previous winners here at Kokomo in the field. The main drivers that have won there. Trevor Royer, Heat Race 1 winner. He has a win at Kokomo. Another driver that does have a win is Vinny Sansone. And I think that's about it. But yeah, Trevor Royer, Vinny Sansone, both of them have got it done at Kokomo previously. Trying to do so again. They're going to have to watch out for Mason Hannigan, driver who is from Pittsboro, Indiana. Not familiar with my Indiana geography, but obviously same state as Kokomo. So he's trying to get a home state win. We will have another Kokomo race later on this season. Kokomo is unique because it's got two configurations. It's got the tires in, which we're running tonight, and then the tires out. The tires out event will be on November 14th, and that's the Hoosier Fall Classic Money Race. So a lot of money on the line for that one. Definitely are not going to want to miss the Hoosier Fall Classic coming up in November. It'll be right here at Kokomo, just a different configuration with the tires out. And this is the Hoosier Open Wheel Series, so a lot of these drivers are primarily from Indiana. A few sprinkled in from some other states, but most of them are from the Hoosier state. Obviously, series sponsor, Indy Race Parts. Indiana-based. But Noah Bowman, after his win last week at Lucas Oil, he jumped to third on the all-time wins list, tying Vinny Sansone. So, heading into this race, Noah, he's your points leader, trying to get his first ever series championship. It's definitely looking good. There's still some heavy hitters that could definitely make a fight for it, and I will say this. I do notice a few drivers that have not competed in the first two races, or maybe have only competed in one race so far. That's okay. This series has 3 drop races that you can utilize, and basically what a drop race does is at the end of the season, it removes your 3 worst finishes, and so after that, that's how the standings are kind of reworked. So you don't want to miss too many races, and you don't want to have too many bad finishes, because the more bad finishes you have, the less races, bad races you're able to drop. So I'm sure there's going to be some drivers that are going to be using their drop race after this one. Could be a rough race for sure. This is a part of Intensity's iRacing doubleheader on Thursdays. Later this evening, we're going to have the Thunderstruck Super Series Sam Alico Late Model Series. We'll be at Southern National, so we'll end this stream. Click over to that. So definitely do not touch that dial, as they say. Doesn't really apply to the internet, but just don't go away. Got more racing action coming up after this. We still have a whole feature event to get through here at Kokomo. Drivers just finishing up their warm-up. Right now on the top of the board, that's your Heat Race 1 winner, Trevor Royer. Second, that is Cody Parmley. Third, Mason Hannigan. Heat Race 2 winner, Noah Bowman. Points leader heading into this race. And then Glenn Reinhardt, currently 5th. Looks like session has been advanced. So we will say hello to our starting grid in just a second. Here we go, starting on the pole, winner of heat race number 1. That's the 90 of Trevor Royer. On his outside, it's Black Diamond Motorsports driver Mason Hannigan in the 22. He's heat race number 2 winner. In third, he finished on the podium last week. That's the 80 of Vinny Sansone. Fourth is Bo Brandon in the 49. And rounding out your top 5, it's Indy Race Parts eSports driver Noah Bowman, your points leader in the 24. Sixth is the 71 league owner, also another Indy Race Parts eSports driver, Wade Field. Seventh, it's Indy Race Parts eSports' Dano Lindsay in the 12. Eighth is the 19 of Glenn Reinhardt. Ninth, it's last week's runner-up, Jay Schaff in the 3. And rounding out your top 10, it's the 11 Indy Race Parts eSports driver, Richie Gaines the 3rd. 11th is Tom Ostendorf. 12th, it's Preston Cottrell in the 7. As there's a train going by in the background. That's cool. 13th, Colton Snyder in the 024. 14th, it's Cody Terry in the 54. Running at your top 15, it's the 14 of Graham Huffman. 16th is Cody Parmley in the 5. He rounds out our 16-car field. So we get a strong field. Any driver could get it done. Question is, who will it be? Front row again, Trevor Royer, Mason Hannigan, both of them searching for their first win of Season 6. Trevor, Season 4 champion, all-time wins leader, certainly knows how to get it done in this 410 series. We'll see what he can do it tonight. Green flag is in the air, and that's Trevor Royer leading the field into 1 and 2. But we are 3 wide for the race lead. There's Mason Hannigan trying to get a piece at him. But Royer will lead the field off of 4 and take that first lap. There's Bo Brandon trying to make it work up there on that outside. Noah Bowman, Vinny Sansone is all there, but Brandon sneaks on through, slides up into position number 2, but there goes Hannigan back down to the middle of the racetrack. He will slip in front, take that runner-up spot once again. Trevor Royer, fastest car on track right now. 12.03 was his lap time. Obviously, top 2 getting slow, or second and third getting slowed down as they fight for this second place spot. There's Noah Bowman trying to make it 3 wide on the far bottom. Hannigan, though, will get clear of Brandon, and so now we see Sansone, Noah Bowman going at it for position number 4. Bowman tries to sneak on that bottom groove, but the cushion up there on that top is definitely seeming to be the place to be right now. Another quick time for Trevor Royer. He continues to be the fastest car on track. 11.9 for 25 laps to go. In the field, getting a little bit spread out now. Vinny Sansone running that outside, trying to track down Bo Brandon for 3rd. But Brandon doing a good job defending that spot for the time being. Sansone, though, up there on the high side. We see Brandon moving down a little bit, trying to search for some grip. He was running a little bit higher. Maybe noticed what the 80 behind him was doing a little bit. And so now they're side by side. Sansone with the nose on the outside lane. He has good drive off as they head into 1 and 2 there, and he will take that spot. So Vinny Sansone into the podium, knocking Bo Brandon down to 4th, and he may be now about to battle with Noah Bowman, who was tracking him down, but we do have a caution flag, first caution of the race. So let's see what happened here. It's like Glenn Reinhardt, Wade Fields got a piece of it. So there's Glenn Reinhardt off of turn number 4. He's got Wade Fields on his outside. We see Reinhardt going down to the far bottom, trying to see what, and he clips the grass a little bit there. And he tries to pull a slide job in front of the 71, but oh, Fields hard into the back bumper bar of the 19. We see Fields into the outside wall. Reinhardt gets into the outside wall. And Fields, oh, he gets on his side. And just like a turtle, you need help getting flipped over. So I think maybe Fields had to hit the reset button. So that puts us under our first caution of the race. Trevor Royer is your race leader after starting on the pole. Biggest mover is by far Cody Parmley. After starting in the last place position, he has wheeled and dealed his way up to the field all the way to position number 8. So on this next restart, I'm sure he's maybe hoping he can work his way to a top 5. Only needs 3 more spots. And green flag is back in the air. And there's this swarm of cars heading into turns 1 and 2, but Trevor Royer remains your race leader. Noah Bowman trying to get by Bo Brandon here for this 4th place spot. Brandon still with the nose on the outside lane. But as I say that, there's Bowman. He slides up, trying to take position number 4. Brandon holding strong on the outside, though. Not letting Bowman get too far ahead, and so he will clear him back. But Bowman continues to fight. He's running hard on that outside lane. And as I mentioned, there's Cody Parmley up to 6 now, trying to sneak into the top 5 after starting in the rear. Bowman gets all the way to the top, and he will slide in front of Brandon. But Brandon tries to set something up of his own, not able to do so. So Bowman will take full possession of that 4th place spot. And, oh, we got a stack up. Oh, a car. Oh, my gosh. Multiple accidents happening at the same time. And so that will put us under our 2nd caution of the race. So I think here's what started it all, the domino. We see Dano Lindsley up there against the cushion onto the front stretch. And he gets, ooh, very sideways. And, oh, there goes the 5 of, it's not Cody Parmley. I'm not sure exactly who that was. Slides up into him, and, oh, it's just a domino effect. We see, looks like Snyder gets involved. I believe that was 33. Man. That put a lot of drivers on pit road. So Wade Fields, Dano Lindsay, Cody Terry, Richie Gaines all out of this, but show must go on. Green flag is back out. Trevor Royer, despite 2 restarts, he's trying to finish the thing. There was Noah Bowman heading into the frame. He drove it insanely hard into 1 and 2, but now he is under attack, getting some pressure from Vinny Sansone. These two have been battling a lot of this season. Sansone heads to the bottom, running that middle lane, and he has a ton of momentum. He will get up in front of the 24, but Bowman heads back down to the bottom. He'll pull a slider of his own. Now it will swap again. Sansone, slider after slider. 10 laps to go for Trevor Royer, but this battle for 3rd is heating up, as now there goes Bowman. Sansone fights back. These two back and forth. What great racing Kokomo puts on. Bowman will skate all the way up to the outside wall. Opens the door for Sansone, and as they continue to duke it out, caution flag will come out. Not what Trevor Royer wanted to see. And he had gotten so far up the field, and unfortunately came to an end. This Cinderella run for Cody Parmley We see he's running that bottom lane. He'd made it work a lot of the race. Clips the grass a little bit. Clips it again. Really pinching off that entry. And, oh, he hits the tire. That's one of the things about the tires is that the tires are on the bottom of the racetrack. And Cody Parmley hit it. And so we are back under green, 8 laps to go. Trevor Royer continues to lead. Mason Hannigan, his final chance to try to get up there. While Noah Bowman, Vinny Sansone, there's Noah Bowman trying to get all the way up to second there. He got close, but Sansone coming back there. This is for third, a shot at the podium. Your top 2 in points right now. So that's Noah Bowman, currently clear of Sansone. Trying to make that comeback. There's Schaff fighting for 7th. 5 laps to go. Trevor Royer continues to lead. He's got about a 7/10 gap over Mason Hannigan. And Royer started this race on the pole. He's led every single lap so far. And unless we see some kind of caution, he is just running away from Mason Hannigan. He's had the best car all race long. Noah Bowman, he will take sole possession of that 3rd place spot. Vinny Sansone maybe going to try to make one last little move. But I don't even know if he can catch Bowman. Two laps to go now. Royer will take the white flag. Got to make 4 more clean corners. Your season 4 champion, all-time wins leader. Heading off of turn number 4, Trevor Royer gets it done for the first time this season. What a race for driver number 90. Mason Hannigan will bring it home in 2nd. That's Noah Bowman bringing it home in 3rd. He will no longer be undefeated this season. But Royer will park it up there on the pedestal, victory lane. Lot to celebrate there. We will head into driver interviews if we can get our top 3 there in the waiting room. There's Noah Bowman. Pull him in. Noah, this is Outland, the broadcast booth. You got a copy. Oh, hold on. Got some audio issues here. Sorry about that. Noah, this is, you got a copy? Let's see here. Well, it was some back and forth race in there. You saw fighting hard for that 3rd place spot. You and Vinny were throwing slider after slider. It was definitely a tight race, but able to bring it home from the podium. So just walk us through that race and just all the tight racing that you had to endure.
Kind of tiptoed around. Got around. I think it was Tebow had a good battle with Vinny there. Probably should have cleared him a little quicker there, but it's all good. That was a good race. Congrats to Trevor and Mason. They were fast. Got to thank Indy Race Parts, eSports, Red Dot Marketing Solutions, and Hoosier Racing.
Awesome. Congrats on the podium. Have a great rest of your night, Noah.
You too.
Sorry about that. There was like a weird Apologies there for the audio issues. There was like a weird echo effect, but we'll see if it is better there with Mason Hannigan. We will pull in. Driver from Pittsburgh, Indiana. Mason, this is Atlan, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
What up?
Doing really good here in the broadcast booth. Looks like you were doing good out there on track. One heat, number 2, and you were keeping it close there with Trevor for a lot of that race, but just couldn't quite catch him. So, I mean, just walk us through that race and what you maybe could have done differently to change the result.
I think the only thing I could have possibly done differently was just not give him my setup. He just checked out. I mean, I didn't. I thought I'd been okay, but he was in a whole different league than I was. Like, he was like a half car higher than me on 1 2, and I'm just like, I can't get in like that, or else I'm gonna stuff the thing in the fence. So he was pretty dialed. He's non-wing goat, so I think me and him hit on the setup, and we're both like, oh, this thing rips pretty good. So that's what we ran the night, and that's what we're gonna continue to run.
Yeah, I mean, with this being an open setup league, it adds a little bit of an aspect to it with that setup. So, I mean, what's the key to setting up here at a track at Kokomo where it's just really tight corners, really small track, not a lot of room to make moves?
More or less your driving deal. I mean, you gotta drive harder than some of these guys, and you gotta make moves harder than some guys will. So yeah, we just got out front and checked out there for the most part. So congrats to Trevor on the win, and yeah.
Any sponsors or shout outs?
Yeah, I want to thank Black Diamond, and can't thank Wade for putting this deal on.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the runner-up, Mason. Have a great rest of your night.
You too.
And now let's pull in your race winner for the first time this season, Trevor Royer. Trevor, this is Atlan, the broadcast booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, it was a great race for you, leading from flag to flag at Kokomo. Definitely seemed like you had this track figured out. I know you've won here before, so I mean, what is it about this place that just has made you so successful here?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Man, sometimes when the top's rolling like it was tonight, especially in 1 and 2, I feel like that was kind of the difference maker between me and Mason, my teammate. I feel like I was just getting through 1 and 2 just a little better than him the whole race, and I was able to get some gaps on all those restarts. But yeah, I don't know. Kokomo's an awesome track, really racy. I know probably didn't look like it up front, but it's hard to win these races. So if I have the chance to make it boring up front, I'm gonna take it, unfortunately. But yeah, the track's awesome. I love Kokomo, and I love that. Just like in real life, it puts on awesome racing like this.
Any sponsors or shout outs for your win?
Yeah, my team, Black Diamond Motorsports, Mason Hannigan and I have been working on setups together for it's been years now. I feel like we found something here in the non-wing car. My paint, Drew Neal, 19 Designs, Ultimate Dirt TV, Tim's Dirt Track Simulators. I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast, and Wade Fields for putting this Hoosier League on, putting all the time and effort he puts into running this league and making it what it is. And everybody watching, hope it was a good one for you.
Well, again, congrats on bringing it home for the first time this season. Have a great rest of your night.
Yep, thank you. You too.
Well, that will do it for tonight's broadcast. One more time, to give a big round of applause to Trevor Royer on bringing it home for the first time this season. Gotta give a big thank you to, obviously, Hoosier for letting us do their broadcast, and thank you to Indy Race Parts eSports for sponsoring this great series. And make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as that'd be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach all of our goals. Check out our Twitter page, Intensity Broad 1, always dropping polls and interacting with our followers on there. And check out our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. Turn on that notification bell next week. We will be at Williams Grove for 30 laps of racing action. You are not going to want to miss that. So turn on notifications on whatever your platform you prefer watching. and check us out. So I'm Matt Manueliste on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Over and out.